Fancy Lou. Hey, Reese. Hey, Mala. Mwah. Mwah. How are my babies? Hey, Miss Bitty. How are you, darling? That just warms my heart. That just absolutely makes my day. How are you ladies doing? I think Nina will be with us tonight. What little bit I saw there looks like she's survived everything. It's just the wind, so hopefully. Oh, thinks I'm a movie star. Wow. Just tell her I'm a Disney queen. Too old to be a princess. Probably she doesn't think I'm Ursula. Speaking of which, that crazy woman's up front and center tonight. That is so sweet. Mala, none of those, you darling. You're precious. Absolutely precious, darling. Mm-mm-mm. Hey, Miss Pebbles. How are you, sweetie? Hopefully nothing freezes up tonight. We don't need any freezes. Y'all, this book is I took a sneak peek today, which is something I don't do very often. Something just told me I needed to on this one. And let me tell you, I'm already got the voices going. This is a book from Texas. So Miss Vincy and Billy, y'all get ready. The Cowboys are coming out to play tonight. It's gonna be a good. This might be one of those I end up with the whole series before it's over with. Whew, Lord help me if I do. I'm looking for something pretty. Yeah, for sure. Hello, Miss Michelle. How are you? Welcome to the nut house, sister, because it gets crazy up in here. I ain't gonna lie. And it ain't usually me that gets the crazy going, so that little gang up above you tends to keep the crazy rolling, so just roll with it and go with it, because it's never boring around here. Yeah, I got head pressure going on here. I am just a little background here. I'm sitting in Northwest Georgia, foot of the mountains, and hence this lovely southern accent. I'm also on the borderline of that storm Nicole that's coming through right now. So she's got my head all messed up today. Feel like my ears or my eardrums are just gonna pop out. Hey, Ori. Michelle, if you don't know, Ori is my wonderful right hand BFF, Nina Courtright. Um, the horniest PA in the known country. Um, she survived the storm last night. She is surviving the storm. She was part of the direct hit of Miss Nicole last night, so we weren't sure if she's going to make it tonight or not, but she did, I see. So, all right. 8:06. I'm going to go ahead and get started because I want to get as much of this one in as I possibly can. Y'all ready? Got your cowboy hats on. Got your vibrators out and ready to go. Got your wine or your moonshine or your mimosa or your whatever floats your damn boat. I got a little feller with me tonight. Might need to charge that sucker. Yeah, looks. Oh, there it goes. Y'all ain't gonna hear it. That's why I like it. It's quiet. So, got us some country boys going on here tonight. Let's get this show on the road. How about it? It's gonna be a hot flash night, ladies. So get your hot flash kids going. Got my tea going here. We ready to go. Vincey Lou Who, how's the music, baby girl? Alright. It's called Ethan, Call of the Night, Kensington Cove World Book 1 by Miss April A. Luna. Killing Spree, Chapter 1. Ethan Cotter. The metallic scent of blood lingers and the coppery taste coats his tongue and mouth, which only serves to wake his inner beast. On edge, Ethan, still sitting on the motorcycle, scans the area. Oh yeah, did I mention there's motorcycles involved? Yeah. Overgrown brush, comprising mainly mesquite trees, thorny shrubs, and tall grass comes into view. None of the vegetation sets off his senses. Not even the lingering blood from a recent kill holds his attention. By the way, I have a Georgia accent. This is not a Texas accent. But for those that don't know any better, it's Southern, and that's all you need to know. None of the vegetation sets off his senses. Not even the lingering blood from a recent kill holds his attention. Nope, not this time. It's the residual stench of an unknown lichen that sends his predatory instincts on heightened alert. Ethan removes his helmet and hangs it off a handlebar. An early evening breeze blows through his hair, cooling his scalp. Can't you just imagine him brushing his hands through his hair, trying to look around at what all is going on? The wind brings with it a familiar scent, one that belongs to a local human rancher. He engages the kickstand, swings one leg over his bike, then rises to the full height of 6'2". Nina, you'd have to crawl him like a spider monkey because he's a foot taller than you, sister. Long strides across the shoulder takes him to the edge of the ditch. Sidestepping, he makes his way down, heading for one of several worn wooden posts holding up the barbed wire fence. He grabs the lower wire, pushing it down just enough to slip between the created opening. Once on the other side, he continues his journey to the aged human, Jeb Snyder, standing over a tangled mass of fur-covered legs less than 10 feet away. Thanks for coming out, Ethan. The man's southern drawl rings in Ethan's ears. Ethan nods, then he kneels into a squat to inspect the slash marks carved into the abdomens and necks of the two mutilated calves.
Anytime, Jeb.
Head down, Ethan continues examining the specimens.
I'm always happy to help a fellow neighbor.
2 sets of legs, 8 in all, protrude from a single birthing sac. The outer shell of the tiny hooves, still soft, feel like rubber bands.
Did you know she was carrying twins?
Moving the leg, Ethan follows a deep slash over the abdomen of one of the conjoined twins.
Yeah,
Jeff Snyder spits a wad of snuff and fused saliva.
I expected it as much as a little over a month ago. They're small, even for newborns.
His eyes shift to the larger of the two, taking in the 3 bite marks on the neck. The first or second strike more than likely broke its neck while missing the jugular, but the third tore the calf's throat. From the amount of pooled blood, the twins must have shared a blood supply. Probably took only minutes for the young ones to bleed out.
Beatty here wasn't due to give birth for another couple of weeks.
Jeb pats the mother cow's neck, then loops a rope around her head.
Isn't that right, old girl? How'd you find them?
A scan of the dried topsoil revealed the tracks of a few scavengers, such as a small fox and a coyote or two. But the larger canine print, the one made by the road Viking, drew my eye.
When Beatty didn't come home, I went looking for her.
Jeb coils the rope around his calloused hand, taking out the slack.
This is the second attack on my property in as many weeks. Plus, the Taylors had a colt taken down just 5 days ago. I heard about that.
Well, a few of us landowners are thinking of getting together and hunting the animal who did this. You and your brother are welcome to join us. He pauses. It sure is a shame. Jeb shakes his head. As a rancher, you expect a loss now and then when food is scarce. But that isn't the case here. No, this animal isn't hunting for food. No, it's killing for the sport. The phone in Ethan's pocket vibrates against his leg. He rises, fishes the device free, and then checks the call log. Cole's number sprawls across the screen. He's Ethan's older brother, or parental shadow, as he likes to refer to him.
Hello? What'd you find out?
Cole's voice booms in Ethan's ears.
Was it a coyote?
Nope, afraid not. Ethan walks away from Jeb. No sense in a human overhearing the conversation. The content's not meant for his kind of ears.
Larkin?
Asked Cole.
Yep.
Ethan ducks under the barbed wire fence. You leaving? Jeb leads Betty to the edge of the property. He leans against a pole.
Yeah.
Ethan heads to his motorcycle parked on the shoulder next to the road.
Let me know when you rally the other ranchers.
He shouts over his shoulder at Jeb.
You have my number.
I'll call you. The sun is setting as soon it'll be dark. He mounts his bike, then heads off down the road. Drawing in a deep breath, he catches traces of the lichen. Fucking rogue asshole. The words roll around in his head. Kensington Cove has always had visiting lupines and lichens, but lately the town has had more than its fair share of both, especially lichens without a clam. And I don't know how to pronounce this, so we're going with Q QO QO KWEO. Karen or Shell, if you can help me out there, that would be great if you know. Hey, bitch, glad you finally got to show up. And the QO are always more than willing to add another stray to their cause. That makes the clan unpredictable, unlike his brethren, the Shoshone. Hell, if it were up to the alpha of the QO, I'm having a hard time with that, y'all. The masquerade would have ended long ago. Shadows of darkness dance around him. He flips on his headlight and adjusts his helmet. A single beam cuts through the night. In the distance, the lights of a car peek over the hill. It swerves and its headlights flicker. Fucking kids, he breathes under his breath. For the last several months, a group of human teens have made the trip down the road to park at the Point, a bluff overlooking the town. A situation he and Cole will have to remedy much sooner than later because of the road stray. Hey, Miss Beth. Ethan slows at the private entrance to his property, then stops. The twin headlights continue to blink on the winding road. Fuck. Cole will bitch if I don't do something about them. In the twilight of the early evening, he pulls out and sets a course to intercept the teens. Yeah, Beth, nobody has ordinary names on here, so just roll with it. If you got a question, just ask. And the same for you, Michelle. No, chapter 2. A day late, a dollar short. Sadie Reed. Turn right. I don't do that voice very well, do I? Turn right. Sadie Reed's pink and purple cell phone's navigation system pierces the interior silence of the QX50 Infinity. The car continues to coast in the dark over an unfamiliar rural Texas road. Fingers wrapped tightly around the wheels, Sadie takes a sharp right. Would it kill you to give an advance notice next time? The car's bald, smooth tires screech over the pitted two-lane road. Then she skids off the shoulder. Her backpack purse topples over and lands with a thump on the floorboards, spilling the contents. Oh, great. That's just fucking great. A quick glance in the rearview mirror reveals an undisturbed pile of clothes on the back seat. Well, she said with a heavy sigh, at least nothing else avalanched. Bye, Miss Pebbles. You can always catch it later. I mean, you don't get to enjoy the conversation as much, but you can always catch the video later. Kind of like an audiobook. Plastic hangers of all different shapes, colors, and sizes stick out of her clothing in every direction. In hindsight, she wonders if she should have taken more time to pack things neater. But when late on rent and fleeing one's apartment without notice, time becomes a luxury, one she couldn't partake in. Moving to the ranch in Kensington Cove hadn't been on her agenda today. Hell, she still had things to do and wanted to save more money before leaving San Antonio, Texas. Unfortunately, that wasn't the plan. Not today. A single sigh leaves her lips. She should have known something was up when Gus, at the Five and Dime Cafe, called her into his office. During the 15-minute pep talk, her life had turned from semi-crap to, well, a healthy heaping of shit that, if left alone, would surely run downhill. Gotta cut corners. He was mumbling something about losing money in an overstaffed crew as if that shit had mattered to her. She recalls something a past school counselor told her. When one door closes, another opens. If that's true, she sure as shit hoped it would lead to something far better than working two jobs for little pay. But who was she to complain? Between working for Gus in the gas station, she made enough to pay the bills, almost always late, but hey, she paid them eventually. At least at Gus's place, he let her eat a meal there each day, so that kind of helped supplement her food bill. But now she found herself at the crossroad of change. She could stay in San Antonio and try to find another crappy paying job or take another path. And truthfully, she could find a shitty job anywhere. So it's not as if she had anything to lose. Plus, without a job, there's nowhere to live. Homelessness doesn't rank high on her list of things to experience. Again. And it damn sure isn't an accomplishment. Not one she wants to be added to her resume or bucket list. Growing up in the foster care system teaches one to never count on staying in one place for too long, which suits her fine, but now things are different. And where she's heading leads to an actual home, to a family ranch, roots unknown to her, which is cool. Unfortunately, her ancestral line runs slim, or so the attorney says, because they're all dead. So once again, she hit a brick wall finding out about where she's from and who her people are. I'm a day late and a dollar short, she thinks. But at least this time she's running to her own place instead of leaving someone else's, and she's got the paperwork to prove it. The cell inside the cracked phone holder attached to the air vent shows the next turn in 9/10 of a mile. Her stomach gurgles and butterflies bounce around. She can't tell if it's from hunger or the stress of the unknown. A farmhouse, barn, and corral sit on the property in good condition, at least from the aerial photos. Some quick internet searches before she left brought up indigenous wildlife, turkeys, armadillos. Yep, got both, and have seen both this week, which carry bacteria causing leprosy, or so an article has said. Deer, yep, saw those yesterday. Oh, and today. Snapping turtles, wild pigs, raccoons, rabbits, and bobcats, as well as mountain lions, coyotes, and gray wolves. We here in Georgia have all the above but the gray wolves. And I have personally witnessed every single one of them but the gray wolves. The thought of running into hunting pack animals, carnivores, does nothing for her. Hell, I'd rather find a group of leprosy dillos than entertain a pack of large cats or wolves. The headlights of the car illuminate a green reflective sign. Kensington Cove city limits. Population stats 991 flashes before her eyes. The road ahead twists and turns, matching the crazy signs posted at each blind curve. Who the fuck designs a roller coaster fun ride as a country road? Leaning over the steering wheel, she searches for the yellow line dividing the two lanes. She needs to come back to my town because I can take her on some roller coaster rides. Where the fuck is it? Every 6 to 10 feet, a faded strip of yellow splits the road, making it hard to see where to direct the wheels of the car. She glances out the window, looking for the line of the shoulder, and finds nothing but brush, dense woodland, and moonlight. Another winding sign comes into view as she rides the brake, slowing down. A few fireflies, or what she hopes are fireflies, in what we call here in Georgia, lightning bugs. And what she hopes are fireflies and not eyes, glow in the thickest thicket close to the shoulder. Signal lost. The electronic voice grates on her last nerve. What the hell? She rips the phone free of the docking station. Are you freaking kidding me? How the hell are there no bars? A quick push of the button on the side of the device starts a cold reboot. Come on, you piece of shit! The phone vibrates and the logo flashes across the screen. A horn blares in her ears. She yelps and then glances up. In the road in front of her, a single headlight shines in her eyes. Holy fuck! She drops the phone. Both hands on the wheel, she swerves to miss the oncoming light, but she ends up in a ditch. Sadie slams the car into park, leaving the engine running. All of her earthly belongings, once on the back seat, now occupy more of the floorboard, pressing against the back of her seat. Eyes closed, she presses the back of her head against the seat and wills the pounding of her heart to recede. I tell you guys, this was gonna be good. Chapter 3, Slain on Country Road. Miss April, why have I never heard about you, dear sister? I do like your riding style. Slain on a Country Road. Chapter 3, Sadie Reed. A rap on the window makes her jump. Her eyes fly open, and her heartbeat thumps in her chest in a double time fashion. Team Money. Where is this one of the books I found on TikTok? I mean, I know that they changed the books, but is this a TikTok book, or was this something you guys found on Facebook where I don't dare go to graze too long? Her eyes fly open and her heartbeat thumps in her chest in a double time fashion. Hey, a man in leather stoops next to the car. You in there? He motions for her to roll down the window. She shakes her head. I'm okay. Alone on a deserted road in the dark with a stranger isn't exactly the place she wants to be. Flashes of a news headline rolled through her head. Tonight at 10, a woman slain on a country road. The thought makes her stomach turn and an uneasiness washes over her. Moonlight catches the contours of the leather-clad guy's face. Stubble lines his jaw, and his tan face has a natural glow. He taps the window again with the back of his hand. Roll it down. Sadie's fingers hover over the control panel. She glances at the floorboard. The grip of a handgun peeks out from under the seat and glistens in the moonlight. I don't have all night. His voice has a low, throaty pitch to it, almost a growl. She presses her index finger against the lever and rolls the window a third of the way down. Are you okay? His voice is deep, smooth, and it has a baritone ring to it. Yeah. She glances up at the tall stranger. There's something about the tone and temper of his voice that puts her at ease, and the tension in her shoulders rolls away. What about you? I knew Miss Billy was going to get involved in this cowboy hunt. What about you? The thought of almost hitting someone on a motorcycle because she was attending to her stupid phone instead of the road makes the muscles in her abdomen contract. I'm good. So, do you mind telling me what the hell you were doing in the middle of the road? Excuse me? Tension creeps up into her neck and shoulders, making her sit stiffly in the driver's seat. Her fingers grip the wheel so tight the blood drains from them. Do I need to repeat the question? His unblinking gaze holds her in its grip, as if trapping her in the moment. My GPS lost connection. She swallows hard. I was restarting my phone. Cold sweat lines her brow. Nervously, she wipes her sweaty palms on her skirt. I guess I veered out of the lane. Staring at the man, she figures he's close to her age, early 20s, but she's unable to read him, which is odd for her. Usually, She's quick to decide, and her choice is solid on the spot.
You think?
His brows knit together, making his eyelids narrow. Look, I'm sorry. She casts her gaze down, avoiding his probing stare, and removes her left hand from the steering wheel. The tip of her index finger rests on the window control. I didn't mean to.
I haven't seen you around before. Where are you headed?
His head tilts and he takes in the items in the back seat. Kensington Cove? The pile of clothing and all of her earthly belongings come to mind. Frequent packing, relocating, and moving from one place to the next teaches a person to only keep the essentials. It's amazing how monetary things lose their value when the thought of where your next meal will come from becomes the prompt directive of the day.
Are you moving?
What?
The clothes in the back.
He holds her gaze. Yeah. Sadie's grip on the wheel tightens.
So you have family in town?
Something like that. He rubs his jaw, then clears his throat.
Are you stuck?
What?
The car. Are you stuck in the mud?
Oh, I don't think so. He glances at the tires, shakes his head, and then backs away from the car.
If you have enough traction to pull out of the ditch, I'll show you where the turn is.
Mist covers the window, hindering Sadie's view. A wolf howls in the distance, and the fine hairs on the nape of her neck stand on end. Please don't be stuck. She slides the gear in drive and gives the car gas. The tires spin, sending a geyser of mud spewing into the air. She backs off the gas, then tries it again.
Stop!
He walks to the car and taps the hood.
You're not going anywhere in this tonight.
She slides the car into park. Shit, she says, barely over a whisper. Leaning over, she picks up her phone. 0 bars, really? Great. Stranded out in the middle of nowhere with nothing around but a guy in leather. She flips on the windshield wipers, then follows his movement.
You're going to need a tow.
He makes his way around the front of the bumper.
At least it starts.
It's dark. She glances around for signs, mile markers, or any connection to civilization, but comes up empty-handed.
Yeah?
He cracks a grin and a dimple in his left cheek. Winks.
Usually is at night.
Well, hell, I don't see any city lights.
What's your name?
He stoops close to the open window. She hesitates, unsure if she should answer the question or not, and then blurts out, Sadie Reed.
I'm Ethan Cotter.
A single eyebrow shoots up in amusement.
The way I see it, I can give you a lift, or you can stay here with no reception.
He leans in through the window. Another howl reverberates, but this time the call is closer. Sadie's eyes widen, and she swallows hard. Was that a dog, coyote, a wolf?
A gray wolf. Come on, and I'll give you a lift.
Hey, Nina, how far am I supposed to read? I'm only 15% through the book, so I think I should be able to read more. She locks gazes with him. His eyes are a piercing grayish blue. I hadn't noticed his eyes before. She continues to stare.
And don't worry, I won't bite unless you want me to.
A slight wolfish grin washes across his lips, exposing a row of straight white teeth.
So, what's it going to be, Sadie Reed? Are you staying or what?
Thank you, Michelle. I usually stop with about 3 chapters thereabout, and I try not to read no more than about a third of the book. It just varies from bitch. It just varies from um, book to book because last night this much I had read almost half of it. So you just you never know. So I always like to ask. I usually try to read for 45 minutes to an hour. So uh, Sadie takes a deep breath, thinks, and then she grabs the keys. Reaching over the seat, she scoops up the contents of her purse, gun and all, then opens the door. Well, thank you, sister. Chapter 4, Legs for Days. Hey, I'm listening to the boss lady there, and you ain't my boss lady tonight, Miss Ori. Just get your own bossiness back down there and fight with Billy over them cowboys. Ethan Cotter. Long, shapely legs connected to a well-defined body step out of the infinity. Once standing, the owner of those lovely legs tugs on the black flowing skirt that covers half of her bare, milky white thighs. Man, talk about legs. The thought swirls around in his head. Legs for days. For her short stature, hers seems to go on for miles and demand his full attention. Well, his and that of his inner beast. His eyes travel the length of her frame once more, starting with her white tennis shoes and short socks with a blue stripe. The curves of her calves flow to supple, trim knees that lead to the toned, muscular, mouth-watering thighs he can't tear his eyes from. Thighs I'd like to ease apart and wrap my arms around. Smile tugs at his lips. I bet she's sweet. Fuck, he breathes under his breath. Fluid builds in his mouth, causing him to swallow. Get a grip, man, and stop salivating, he tells his inner wolf. He hasn't been this attracted to a female in, well, he's not sure. Maybe it's because she's a stranger, new to the Kensington Cove. Wonder if she's just passing through. Ethan takes in the form-fitted blue tank top, hugging her athletic build and trim waist, and the wolf inside him continues to stare, making it more than clear how he feels about her. He can hear the erratic heartbeats pounding in her chest, which only incites more excitement in his inner beast. A palatable mixture of fear, along with a faint, growing arousal swirls in the air. He draws in a deep breath, drinking her in, which only drives his beast to the edge of a frenzy. This moment, all it wants is to smell her, taste her, to stake a claim to what he desires. Something he's never had the urge to do before. Well, until now. Come on. He smacks his lips, relishing her savory sweet taste still lingering in the air. It's getting dark. He glances at the skyline and takes in a fast-moving gray, stormy area to the west. By his calculations, the weather will catch up to them long before he enters the civilized streets of the city. Okay. She checks the driver's side door once, twice, 3 times. Nervous energy flows from her pores, making her fidgety. She leans against the car, face pressed to the back passenger window. All of my stuff's in the back. What if someone... No one will mess with it. He starts for the ditch incline that leads to the road. She steps away from the car, takes a handful of steps, then shoots a glance over her shoulder. Her hesitant steps sound behind him. Once darkness rolls in, this road remains pretty empty. He slows his pace, allowing her to take a step in front of him. So don't stress. Your stuff won't be touched. Sorry, I don't mean to seem stressed out or anything. It's just that it's all that I have. Her voice cracks, revealing a layer of vulnerability that draws him closer to her side. Hey, where did you say you came from? He treks up the incline next to her. Sadie's shoes lose traction as she slides on the wet weeds and grass. She extends an arm, planting one palm on the muddy ground, and with her other arm, she grabs hold of him. She swallows hard. I didn't. Apprehension builds a wall between them and raises her tension. Once again, she slips. He wraps an arm around her waist, drawing her close to his frame, then helps her up to the shoulder of the road. A glance over his shoulder reveals an old framed bumper sticker that reads, Julian Castro for mayor. San Antonio, Texas. City girl, he thinks to himself. On the walk to his bike, his eyes drink in the rhythmic sway of her hips. The smooth motion draws his inner beast in for a closer view. Above the crease of the back of her knee, a birthmark with fluted petal-like edges offers a sharp contrast to her pale flesh. Ew. Is it even or ridged? His tongue tingles at the thought of caressing the borders. The wind gusts pick up, swishing her skirt against her thighs. Soft yelps escapes her lips. It's a sound so soft he doubts it would register for most humans. But then again, he's not human. And now he wonders what other sounds she makes. She smooths out the fabric and struggles to hold it down against the blowing wind. A fine mist covers her body and goosebumps erupt on her skin in a rippled fashion. Humans run cooler than lupines and lose more of their warmth in the cold, an event that in his youth often left him perplexed. Are you cold? His beast picks up her increased shallow respirations and zeroes in on her trembling lower lip. Yeah, just a little, but I'm good. She adjusts the strap of her backpack purse. The weight of her bag sends the thin strap of her tank sliding over her shoulder, revealing a pink athletic bra. His canines ache under the gum line, begging for release, and he struggles to remain in control of the beast within, who seeks release. He hasn't struggled this much with his lupine half since puberty, and now, like back then, he feels his self-control slowly slipping away. Ethan slides off his jacket. Put it on. No, that's okay, she says, then rubs her arms for warmth. A fresh wave of goosebumps raises the mist-covered light hair on her arms. No, put it on. He hands it to her. Trust me, you'll need it more than me. She hesitates, takes the garment from his hands, and then slips it on. Thanks. Faint blush brings color to her cheeks. You're welcome. Hip replies with a wink. All right, we're 17% of the way through. Chapter 5, Well of Raw Emotions. Ethan Cotter. The jacket cuffs hang below her fingertips, outlining just how small she really is under the leather garment. Unfazed by the oversized clothing, she rolls the cuffs to her wrist, revealing slender fingers without jewelry. Not taken. His inner beast stirs, keeping his astute eyes on the female in front of him. I didn't think it'd be chilly this week. Well, today. She catches her lower lip between her teeth. I even listened to the news, and now that I think about it, they mentioned nothing about rain either. Ethan's eyes wander as he listens to her speech. She's about 5'6" with a toned build. I'm 5'6", and I used to have a toned build. I got a build now, but I don't know about the toned part. What color do you want it? Which is just how he likes his women. That's Texas weather for you. Ethan mounts the bike. Hop on. He motions for her to get out. Wait, you don't wear a helmet? Her growing fear lingers in the air, and his big sips on it. Damn, she's a well of raw emotions. No, never have, but I've never needed one either. His eyes rake up and down her body once more. The wolf continues to drink in her alluring scent, which makes his cock stir. Sure, he had had a bit of a dry spell, but then again, all the females in Kensington Cove he has either grown up with, gone to school with, or wouldn't touch holding a 10-foot pole with an extension. Have you ever been on a bike before? He's never smelled something or someone as sweet and tantalizing as this little morsel before him. She smells human, but then there's an unusual underlying scent to her, one that he just can't place. No, she shakes her head, then nervously bites her lower lip. Well, a dirt bite, does that count? Not so much. He winks, then chuckles. I'll take it slow, I promise. Slow isn't what he wants right now. The wolf in him silently howls and demands release. Okay. She fidgets with the zipper and bears down on her lower lip once more. A low, throaty growl escapes his mouth because he'd like to be the one nibbling on that full, lush lip. And right now, all he wants to do is draw her into his arms and possess her. Well, that and to hold her hips steady as he tastes her, making her come under the stroke of his tongue. And then to hold her as he, get a grip on your inner beast, he thinks to himself. Need some help? He watches her fidget with the zipper. I think I can. He reels in the wolf's libido, which now has his cock standing at attention and begging. Down, boy. He takes a calming breath. Let me. Reaching out, he takes a hold of the bottom of the leather jacket, his jacket, which she's now wearing, and coaxes her closer to him. There's a trick to it. She palms his bare forearm, steadying herself, and the skin-to-skin contact renews the desire to have her. Is it safe to be on the road? Her eyes widen like a doe caught in a crossbeam of light as she blinks several times. What do you mean? Her question catches him off guard. You know, with the weather and all, if it's not far, we could walk, right? Yeah, that's not a good idea. Thoughts of the road to Lupine invade his mind. Country life is far different from the city after dark. Oh, she parses her lips. He zips the garment, covering the curves of her breast, and then snaps the lower section of the waistband that falls well below her hips. Come on. He remounts the bike. It's getting darker and wetter. Sadie takes in a deep breath, then sighs. There's a first time for everything, right? Tentatively, she straddles the bike. So I've heard, he chuckles. She hurries back as far as she can, and not before her skirt exposes even more of her thighs. Tugging at the fabric of her skirt, she wiggles in the seat, trying to cover her legs. I already told you. Ethan chuckles once more. I won't bite unless you want me to. Fuck, what the hell's wrong with me? His wolf half, now fully awake, salivates at the thought of tasting her, marking, and he'd like. Nothing better than to sink a tooth into her flesh and mark her as his. I shouldn't be toying with her like this, he sighs, then shakes his head. It's not as if she understands what it means to be marked or claimed by a wolf to be someone's mate. Hell, if she only knew what I was, what I'm capable of, she'd run the other way and never look back. The thought bothers him far more than it should, especially since she's a stranger. You're going to have to hold on to me. He grabs one of her hands and places it on his waist. The contact makes his body buzz. When he starts the engine, she jumps and clings to the sides of his t-shirt. Have you ever, wrecked? No. Now scoot up so you don't fall off. Sadie inches near but keeps a respectable distance between them. More. The beast within lurks. Anticipation builds. So you can wrap your arms around my waist. She wiggles on the seat, drawing closer, and then laces her fingers over his navel. That's it. He draws in a deep breath, relishing her scent. Pulling onto the road, he gradually increases the speed, giving her time to adjust to the bike's movement. This isn't so bad. Carefree giggle passes her lips. The road ahead winds around. He approaches the first steep curve and Sadie slides up the seat. She wraps her arms around his waist, pressing her warm thighs, abdomen, and breast against his frame. Her body molds to his, and the sweet aroma of her growing arousal replaces the fear of the unknown. Got you. The wolf inside him grins. All right, last chapter, ladies. Get it out of your system. This is it. I'm at chapter 6. Rock hard abs. Sadie Reed, 20%. Wisp of hair tickled her face. He smells like earth, woody, musky, coconutty, with a hint of patchouli, star enzyme, tonka bean, and vanilla. What the hell? How does she know what all that crap smells like? On the open road, she feels free, unburdened by the strings of her former life. Live in the future, she thinks to herself, and leave the past where it belongs. That's my motto, y'all. Just have no idea how well I do that. The vibration of the power between her legs sends a shiver down the length of her spine. You doing okay? The rich undertones of his voice cuts through the sound of the revving engine. Oh my gosh! A squeal leaves her lips. I'm more than okay. Riding on the back of a motorcycle is exhilarating, but frightening at the same time. She's been on dirt bikes before, but nothing compares to the thrill of riding on a motorcycle. Well, a motorcycle with a hot guy with rock hard abs. Fear shoots through her. Hold on tight. One-handed he steers, placing the other behind him, cradling her to his back. She squeezes her thighs, pressing them against his jeans. Wrapping her arms around him, her hands slide under the hem of his shirt. Her fingers grip his abdomen. Naughty girl. His muscles ripple and contract under her touch, making the tips of her fingers sensitive and tingle. She feels a pull in her belly as if hundreds of butterfly wings take flight, fluttering about. Something's happening. She can feel it. And sister darling, I need sleep at some point. I still gotta work tomorrow. The man, the bike, the mist. Her mind wanders somehow. It all seems familiar. But it can't be. Yet, she feels a connection akin to deja vu. It's as if on this hour, this day, this moment, fate intervened, bringing them together as one. Right. Now I sound like a mystic 8-ball. Her fingers fan over his right pec. A nail grazes his nipple, and he takes in a sharp breath. A low, throaty growl reverberates deep in his chest. I can't do a growl very well. I can do a purr, but I can't do a growl. The sound makes her heart flutter, and a small smile graces her lips. At least now, I know I'm not the only one who feels the strong sexual pull. Ethan comes to a three-way stop. She wobbles on the seat and moves a leg, toes pointed. She reaches for the asphalt.
No, keep your foot on the peg.
He slides a hand across the side of her thigh, holding her in place.
Or you'll throw off the balance.
Sorry. She raises her leg and rests the sole of her shoe on the peg once again.
Don't be.
His touch makes her acutely aware of how intimately she pressed against him.
Now you know.
When he relinquishes his hold, it brushes the tips of his fingers up the side of her thigh, and her skin erupts in goosebumps.
It's dark.
The mist, now replaced by rain, hinders. Oh, it's dark. The mist, now replaced by rain, hinders her visibility. I don't see any lights.
So, you going to tell me where you're from, or do I need to guess?
San Antonio, Texas.
Well, you won't find any city lights out here. At least not until we're closer to town, which is that way.
He points to the highway.
And even those are minute. He pauses. So, Sadie Reed, what's our destination?
His voice is thick and desire-ridden. What?
You're visiting in Kensington Cove. Where are you going?
Actually, it's not in the city. It's the Novak Ranch. Ethan glances over her shoulder and his brows shoot up.
You don't say.
He takes off and shards of rain blow in her face. She presses her cheek against his back, using him as a shield. That shit hurts. Hate riding in the rain. Drawing a deep breath, she breathes in his scent. Even in the rain, that earthy aroma exudes undiluted from his body. It's an aroma she could get used to rather quickly. Called wet dog. After turning down a gravel road, Ethan travels another 3/4 of a mile. A line of trees, mainly oak, ash, and cedar, which lead to dense forests, line the packed callous, I don't know that word, path. In the city, the rain smells of diluted exhaust, trash, and the meat packing plant near the transitional apartments she lived in, owned by the San Antonio Foster Care and Adoption Service Agency.
It's just over the hill.
The wind howls through the trees, making it hard to hear his voice. The top of the incline provides a glimpse of a fog-infused clearing. A faint outline of a roof appears, followed by a large building. Fog, thick and wet to the touch, lingers, making the air heavy. Why is it so dark? At the end of the driveway stands a 2-story house, a barn, and a large covered carport with a truck, a tractor, and what could be a mini bulldozer, if she were to guess. Ethan parks the motorcycle under the carport.
I haven't seen lights coming from this place in months.
Oh, did you ever visit the owner, Roman Novak? Sadie loosens her hold. Cold air blows between their bodies and she shivers.
Yeah, sometimes.
His eyes skim the length of her legs, which are still hugging the sides of the bike. The wind picks up and the thick sheets of rain blanket the night. You said you didn't live far from here. A gust chills her exposed skin, and her goose-pimpled flesh erupts with a new wave of goosebumps.
I don't.
He points toward a hill where a single bluish glow illuminates the night.
I live there, where the light is. Come on.
He offers a hand and helps her climb off the seat. Once she's free of the bike, Ethan stands. Hold this a minute. Sadie shoves her purse in his hands.
Yes, ma'am.
A grin tugs at the corner of his lip. Where are you? She digs through her pocket. I know you're here somewhere.
Are you sure you're expected?
The house is dark. Yeah. Her focus remains on the backpack and the items within. The butt of the handgun peeks out between the folds of the inner lining. Protection? He clears his throat. Yep. Know how to use it? Yeah, point and squeeze. He rubs the stubble on his chin. What are you looking for? Found it! She extracts her phone and uses it as a flashlight. Now to find. Doesn't look like anybody's home. That's because there's no one else here but the two of us. She shoves a hand in the oversized side pocket and feels around. The post of an earring jabs the tip of her finger, and rectangle pieces of mint bubble gum, free of the bonds of their plastic prison dispenser, roam free at the bottom of the compartment, along with lint, pens, jewelry, and a few paper clips. Found them! She shakes a set of keys. Let's go. She shoulders the purse and runs from under the carport. Wait up. A clash of thunder consumes his words. Rain pelts her shoulders, face, and back, then trickles down her neck. Flipping the collar of the jacket, she covers her ears, hoping to stop the flow of fluid drenching her blouse. Square pavers offer a path through the torrential rain, but halfway to the front door, a stream of water swallows three of them, at least by her estimation, and if they continue the same distance between them. Once in the house, should I send him on his way or not? Inviting him inside is the least she could do. Plus, it's really raining now. With the motorcycle, he's a stranger, though. It's not as if she really knows anything about him other than he wears leather and what he drives. Hell, he could be an axe murderer waiting for a chance to pounce. Pounce. The word has so many meanings. To jump on, swoop up on and seize, or a fine powder once used to prevent ink from spreading, often used for creating stencil patterns. Of those, the first of the three definitions, jump on, blankets her mind. Would it be so bad if he pounces? A grin tugs at her lips. Could be fun from a research perspective. She's always avoided the bad boy type. Annie, the only foster parent she considered a motherly figure worth trusting, used to point guys like Ethan out. Now you steer clear of a butt like that. She'd shake her aged finger in the air. Them youngins only want what's between your legs, girls, so when they come a knocking, you send them a packing. That placement, which was one of the happiest, had lasted 18 months. A massive coronary ended that stint. In front of a growing puddle of water that resembles a fast-moving stream, she comes to a complete stop. On the heels of her feet, Ethan bumps into her, sending her sliding ankle-deep into the brown-colored fluid. What do you mean there's no one else here? He wraps an arm around her waist, keeping her on foot. Where's Roman? A flash of lightning streaks across the night sky, illuminating the night. Flash of thunder soon follows. Howl fills the night, and Sadie freezes in her tracks. She clutches his arm and stares into the blackness, searching. What was that? The eerie sound echoes around her again, but this time 2 more cries join in. One higher pitched and the other drawn out, like a tornado warning system. The unnerving clamor makes the fine hairs on her neck stand on end. You don't want to know. Ethan grabs her by the arm and he half drags her toward the house. We need to get inside now. Guess what? That's it. Oops. No, that was it. So I got you guys a quarter of the way through it. Started chapter 7. Go get it. Nina, I hope you gave them all the deeds on it. I like this one, ladies. Thank you for bringing this one my way. I've been struggling. I bet I've started 4 books this week. start reading them and it's just not hitting the spot, you know? So, alrighty. Just so you know, now, Michelle, are the rest of these books, I noticed there's like, what? I don't know, there's a bunch in the series. Crap, that's not where I wanted to go. Is the series complete? How soon is soon, and is that going to be all of them? Because I really don't like to start a series until I can just sit down and binge them. But that's okay, because apparently I'm getting slow to read, so go for it. Ethan, Cole, Eli, Dominic, Kane, Jake, Ray. Oh, I'm sorry, Troy. Okay. So, ladies, go find your cowboys. That's right, Miss Billy. You got it, sister. 7 of them babies talking about your own reverse harem going on there, sister. Go get them. Save a horse and ride a cowboy. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your book tonight. I greatly appreciate this. I really, really do. All right, ladies, let's get off from here so I can get ready for bed because I'm going to do it all again tomorrow, minus this. And I'm going to have 2 little boys this weekend, so yay. Yep, so one's sick too, so it's going to be good. All right, everybody have a wonderful evening. Stay safe. If you are in the path of the storm, apparently I'm in the path of I got the cold here, and I got a front coming down from here. For me, it's here and here. So, yeah, it's gonna get ugly before it gets better. It'll be wet all day tomorrow and cold all weekend with more rain. So, all right, ladies, have a great evening and happy reading. Leave some good reviews for this book, ladies. Bye now.